All right, well, thanks for that little discussion. And can we have a bit of house lights? And everyone could stick their hands up if they have any questions. Don't be shy. Yes, I see the lady there. There's two ladies there. Have we got a, sorry, I'm making the mic do the work there.
Do you want to just shout it out in the interest of time and we can repeat it?
You shout it out to me and I'll...
Okay, well, I have kind of a comment to make and then a question really for...
Okay, remember we're under time here, so...
May, I just absolutely adore, and I just think thank you so much for everything that you have done in terms of bringing forward integrated education in Northern Ireland. We have absolutely needed it, and your steadfast work on this has been absolutely phenomenal, and for that,
Thank you.
I thank you. To ask you, do you think that your optimism has come from being through an integrated system? Is that why you look very favourably on Northern Ireland and that you're able to go out to your American friends and be able to...
It's probably part of it. I've never actually sort of looked back and tried to dissect where that comes from. I think a big part of it is my family. A big part of it is the... I like the idea of smothering something with love and seeing the impact that has rather than reacting with anger. And I think the more that I've travelled with doing book signings all over the world, I've yet to meet anybody who wants to be an asshole. All people... I think there's a lot of people whose stories are just misunderstood, who feel left behind and who get angry about that. But they don't actually want to set out to be an asshole. And whenever I think when you scratch deep enough, all people just want the same things, really. And it's really simple, you know, purpose, dignity, health, community. And those shouldn't be hard to deliver.
Thank you. Yes, just up at the top there. Hello.
Hi, my son attends an integrated secondary school. He's going into third year next year. But when I was applying for his place, what really struck me was that it still has the 40-40-20 ratio, 40 Catholic, 40 Protestant and 20 other. I would come under the other camp. I grew up in a loyalist housing estate, married to a Quaker, so I am definitely other. My children are being brought up other. But the school I was applying for, they were oversubscribed for Catholic, they were oversubscribed for other. So when I was putting my form in, I put my son down as other, and the principal came over and says, "What are you thinking? Put down Protestant,
yeah,
you know, if you want to get him in." So I did, and it grates me to this day that he is down in that school as being under the Protestant, so I could get him in. So I suppose you guys have influence, and that's happening now. Why aren't our schools now changing that they are 30-30-30? You know, that whenever somebody's filling out the form, there are loads of other. And I suppose I'm asking you guys, can you do something about it sooner rather than later?
May, did you want to say anything on that? Or?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's Section 75, which came out of the Good Friday Agreement, and the department still adheres to that. That's part of their format. But that will change. That will change, hopefully, under this new act that's gone through, when Kelly Armstrong put it through this just recently. That will change, and I agree with you. I agree with you. There should not be that set number. If you want to go to an integrated school, you should be able to go. But this year alone, we've turned away about 1,500 children because we can't place them, because we have nowhere for them. So we're moving in the right direction, but unfortunately we're still tied in with the Good Friday Agreement. And interesting enough, the Good Friday Agreement, there's 5 things in the Good Friday Agreement were never, ever fulfilled, and they all belong to community. That's interesting.
Really? Yeah. Says it all. Anyone else? Hands up. Just in front there.
Thank you. So I work for Into Film. We've just recently been, well, in the past couple of years, been working on a resource called Story Builder. We just wanted to know what your thoughts were on how important it is for young people to tell their own stories, particularly within this frame.
Jamie,
yeah, it's massive, and like, you know, you can't when you can't rely on sort of sound influence from government or anything, where are you looking for your inspiration? Where are you looking for new voices? Where are you looking for ways and means of the right way to think from somewhere like this? Film's a great way, you know, like Belfast maybe did a small, you know, because it did so well worldwide, and I feel like the sort of open message in that was very positive, and I think anything that can sort of add to that, any way of seeing things through a different light in a way that people understand. It's much more impactful for people to see things through like a film or, you know, a podcast, or hear it that way these days with the younger generation than it is to get through to them any other way. We've tried it the other ways, it doesn't work, so I'm well behind that, yeah.
But also telling their own story, realising that that's relevant.
Yes, and yeah, and there's people who want to listen to it, need to listen to it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. We've got two in the same sort of row there, so you go first, and then gentleman behind you. All right.
I just wanted to know, Oliver and Jamie, like, do you think your views would be different if you'd stayed in Northern Ireland? Because you obviously both been away for a considerable amount of time.
Well, I think my views would have been different because there was no way I was going to stay. So if I had stayed, it would have been because my views were different. And I think really a big part of this, the Our Place in Space Festival, is that when I was trying to explain the Northern Irish history of conflict to well-educated people in the USA who had no idea, I realized that nobody really cared. And a lot of the language that I was using, I recognized was similar to the way that astronauts talk about looking at Earth from a distance, the overview effect, and it, you know, with time and distance comes perspective. And a big part of that project is looking at our planet. The furthest we've ever been from Earth is the Moon, and that's 250,000 miles away. And at the scale of this project, that's one step. But our solar system at that scale is 10 kilometers long. So when even you get to Mars or Jupiter and you look back and you can't even see Earth, it was like, are these divisions important? And I got a little tiny snippet of a view of that by trying to explain here across an ocean.
Thank you. So you next.
Got the mic, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, but
People aren't
maybe
making
for
the
the
mic.
people up the back so they can hear you.
Yes. Hello, is that better? I teach in one of the schools. It's going to be integrated in September, and I'm so excited. I think it'll be amazing for our kids, especially just with some of the kind of hidden, entrenched views that are there to be kind of picked apart. My big worry would be that integration and the things that will bring will always kind of play second fiddle to the more established metrics for whether a school is seen as good or so. I mean, you know, what are your GCSE results? How many kids are going to university? I guess the question is, how do we move past that sense of a school being a good school? You know, because there's no league table for mutual respect or kindness or understanding. That's
Collective amnesia?
If you say it enough, people will start working.
People will forget.
Well, I think there are ways that we can measure those things, but I think it's persuading the Department of Education or whoever it might be that those things are important, and as a society saying they're important. I mean, we really do like measure how many people are of a certain kind in a certain place at a certain time, or how they engage with public funding and all that sort of stuff. So it's not beyond people to measure that and to see it as a metric of success. But I suppose that's maybe a society thing more than anything else. Do we want that?
Where is the school, if you don't mind me asking?
Glengormley High School. So we'll be
because it's
integrated
September.
college, Glengormley, in September.
Nice one. Just to wish you luck next year.
Cheers.
Hope as well.
Hi, I'd be glad to hear. I don't have a question, but I would just like to comment. So, like yourself, Hugh, I went to Lygon College. I am now vice principal of an integrated primary school very close by. And I would just like to say to all of you that every single day I see the benefits of integrated education on a very personal level and on a very day-to-day level, and that can never ever be underestimated. And I think from just sitting here today listening to a few things you've said, you know, Jimmy, you said chipping away. That to me is the most important thing that we need to keep doing. We just need to keep chipping away, and please, for those who are not in the integrated sector, please believe me that every single day, those who are there are making a difference to the children that we teach every single day. And we need to just keep going, and we need to keep our positivity, and we need to keep that kind of our being out there and letting people see how much we do every day. Yeah. So thank you for every single thing that all of you have done, and I know that's a very personal comment, but I just couldn't sit here today and not say it, so thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, the positivity, and you were asking why I'm an optimist. It's like life's just so much more fun when you're an optimist, for one thing.
That's true.
We've got one more. Oh, did you want to go? Yeah, one, maybe two. We've maybe got two. Got time for two. I'm conscious that there's a play on in here tonight. So.
Sorry, they can do it around us.
Okay. We could do Stones Puppet. No, you don't want to see that. So, yes, go ahead there. Yep.
I just want to know what you thought that we could do sort of at the coalface. So I'm a teacher in an integrated school in Bangor. I know there's a few of my colleagues here. And so we work really hard to develop children's understanding of other religions. I used to work when I started my teaching career in England, and in England it's totally different. You teach the 6 major world religions, and it is Christians believe, it is Muslims believe. Over here we are stuck within the confines of a statutory RE curriculum that is Christianity based, and we all want change, but as you said before, whenever it's in the system, like what can we do as practitioners to champion that change?
Break the rules?
Well, somebody at some stage is going to have to break the rules, I suppose, but I mean, I suppose through unions maybe, or
well, I would never dream of breaking the rules.
No, well, how do you go about doing it? Well, I mean, how do you lobby government? How do you put that pressure on people to change that sort of thing?
You just go and knock a door and don't move till you get what you want.
There you go. That's the best advice you can really have.
Yeah. I remember years ago I was dealing with Barbara de Bruin. She was the Minister of Health then, and I was looking money for early years on the Shankill, and she said to me, "I'm sorry, May, but you're counting your chickens before they're hatched." I said, "Really, I tell you, it's not over to the fat lady sings and I haven't learned the words yet." And we got our money 4 weeks later.
And did you get the money?
Yeah, 4 weeks later.
Yes. All right, one more question. Yep, up the top there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take two because we have two more. Sorry, Jimmy, we've got time. You go first then.
So I am one of the newly elected MLAs for the Alliance Party. It'll come as no surprise. I'm a proponent of integrated education, and one of the questions that's regularly put to me is, do I feel shared education has been helpful to the movement? And I wonder if anybody in the panel could say their opinion on that.
May, do you want to take?
Well, I was on the shared education panel for over 3 years, and a lot of money was poured into it from the three American and British and that. It never went anywhere because it was really good schools taking it, and I don't disadvantage. They were taking advantage of the money and tuning up with a school that was less advantaged, and it wasn't working. It just simply wasn't working, and that's why it finished. There was an enormous amount of money put into shared education, but I'm all for it. I mean, I have no problem with shared education. If it's more than an hour or an afternoon, you can't learn that way. You have to sit side by side and go out into the playground and have a good row and come back in and then get to know one another better. You just can't do it. You just can't do it going the bus and back.
Last question's up there.
Hi, my name's Lisa, this is Aoife. We're 2 teachers from what is now officially the biggest school in Northern Ireland. We're in Bangor. My question would be, for a school like ours, which is a huge school but has no integrated status and yet has children from all over the world, a number of Ukrainian students with us and things like that at the moment, how do we integrate that ethos into a school like that that'll never get integrated status because of its geographical location?
What does the IAF advise for schools?
Well, we're on the show. I mean, I live on the Shankill, as you know, and we have 10 primary schools. I doubt if we'll ever have an integrated school on the Shankill. But on the periphery of both of them, there's Malone, and there's Hazelwood, and they're growing and growing and growing. Now, eventually the department will have to take that on board, because Hazelwood can't take any more. The primary school's full. Malone's bursting at the seams. It has to be taken on board somewhere. Somebody has to do something about that. Now, what to do about it, I have no idea, but they have to do it, because that's the way people are thinking now. People are moving towards that, and that's good.
And maybe the system will change in terms of how change happens and what integrated means. And we were talking about segregated schools and integrated schools and all that sort of sense.
Well, we hope the new bill will push that forward.
Yeah. And maybe those lines will blur, maybe, as well. So, right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm conscious that the show must go on later on tonight, probably about 7:30. So I just wanted to say that the Welsh philosopher said to be truly radical is to make hope possible rather than despair convincing. So I wanted to say thank you to the Nerve Centre, to the Lyric Theatre, for hosting us today. Thank you very much, Oliver, for this whole smorgasbord of our place and space that you've put together. Thank you so much, Jamie, for being here today. And May, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you to all of you as well for coming along today.